Alrighty, welcome everybody back to the KFFL weekly wrap up. This is week 6 wrap up. Sorry for getting this one back, to you guys so late. Thursday night football has just begun for week 7, but nonetheless, let's get it going. It's been a very competitive league this year. We have one team standing at the top with 5-1. We have 4 teams standing at 4-2. And 3 teams at 3-3. A very close race right there. A lot of teams are scoring the high 700s right now. Injuries has been one of the interesting things this past week. I won't go through a lot of them because there is a lot. But some of the most notable ones are Christian McCaffrey, Debo Fields, Montgomery, Richardson, who has been ruled out for the rest of the season, which is a hard hit. He was starting off the year pretty well. And Kyron Williams, who got hurt, he has been a spectacular running back for the Rams this year. So definitely going to be a hit there. The last 2 undefeated teams in the NFL did lose this week, and a new number 1 in our league. So let's get this matchup or wrap up started with our first matchup. Alrighty, so the first matchup we'll be looking at this week is CD Nalgas versus Let's Win Again. It's probably the top 2 largest margin of victory this week, with about 52-point margin of victory. We had a couple players going into Monday Night Football for CD Nalgas, but they weren't needed this week because the win was sealed by Sunday Night Football. That didn't stop him from putting up about 35 points with CeeDee Lamb and Tony Pollard, who had that victory over the Chargers for Monday Night Football. Very interesting, very close game, very exciting up until the very end. We'll go into that a little bit later, of course. CD Nalgas had a very good team who had his bench at double digits. It's nice when you're able to have even your bench putting up points for you. This matchup right here, it's unfortunate because one lineup change could have been the difference from not just the win but the high score of the week. Let's Win Again had a tough week. Only 3 of his players scored in the double digits. He had a couple of decent players on the bench, but nothing that would really help him get out of the hole that he got into early in the week. With that being said, he's also our low scorer of the week for this week, but he still stands at 4-2. That keeps him at 5th place, and CD Nalgas moves up to 3-3. That puts him in 6th place. Definitely going to be interesting to see how it moves forward. Congratulations on that win, CDs. Keep putting up lineups like this. This takes us on to our next matchup. Second matchup that we'll be looking at this week is Angry Birds versus Sione. It's the largest margin of victory with his 56-plus point margin of victory. It's been a long year for Sione, who stands at the bottom of our league. Now he's going to be dealing with a Debo injury, and Puka Nacua finally scores in the single digits, which is impressive to say it nonetheless for a rookie to come in and completely destroy the league in his first 6 weeks, or first 5 weeks, we'll say. Jonathan Taylor got some points this week, which is exciting to see. He's been a little bit slow since he was brought back from the IR, but still, Zach Moss is getting a lot of points, and he's still getting the ball a lot. So I guess we'll see how it's going to be going forward with those 2 running backs. Now with Anthony Richardson out for the year, it's going to be interesting to see how Gardner Minshew works with those guys. Angry Birds had a lot of players that scored in the double digits. Should I have that one ready? He's another team that had a good bench. Let's see. Sorry, I should have that pulled up. But yeah, he had a lot of players that went in double digits. Drake London finally came into the scene for him. Stevenson, I think it's the first game that he's in double digits in the last 4 weeks, so he's pretty excited about that, I'm sure. Either way, it's the Angry Birds takes the win on that one. Sione moves to 1-5 in the league, keeps him at 12th place. Angry Birds moves to 5-1, and he is now our number 1 in the league. So congratulations on that one, Angry Birds. Looking forward to see if we get to dethrone you pretty soon. Moving on to our next matchup. All right, so the third matchup we'll be looking at this week is Nasty Bashy versus Niners Gang, a matchup that ended in a 122.84 to 93.44. It was a initial projection of 116 to 117, which is one of our closest matchups this week. Unfortunately, it didn't play out that way. Niners had a rough week, despite putting out the best lineup that he could possibly come up with. He still came up short. Hopkins had a pretty bad game, pretty much disappeared in London. I think he only had one catch in that game. Kittle, same thing could be said for him. Had a pretty disappointing game against Cleveland. Cleveland took the win in that game to give the Niners the first loss, so I'm pretty sure he was feeling the effects of that. Bashi had a couple players with 20-plus point performances. Of course, Diggs being one of them. Cooper Kupp blew up for 27 points, and prior to being hurt, Kyron Williams took a 21-point performance for him. Tyler Boyd finally back in the double-digit column for the second time this season, and Kyle Pitts, came back. I said Drake London was in the scene last week, or excuse me, in this last matchup, but it's nice to see Kyle Pitts coming back this week and putting up some points. Even though he had him on the bench, it's nice to see that he still can put up those type of performances. Let's see. Either way, regardless of that, lineup, he was still able to get that win by almost a 30-point margin, which moves the Niners gang to a 1-5 record, holding the 11th place. And Nasty Bashi goes to 3-3, holds him at 8th place, 2 spots away from the last spot of our playoff run. Congratulations on that run, Nasty Bashi. Good luck moving forward, fellas. All right, so the next matchup we'll be looking at is Ryan's Suppressive Team versus Jimmy Jesus. That matchup ended in a 129.84 to 109.40 score. Ryan's Suppressive Team back in the winning column, but Jimmy Jesus' impressive double tight end starting lineup. Both his tight ends went off for 16-plus points with Kelsey and Schultz. Rashid Shaheed finally put up some nice points, 18 points for him. It's pretty nice to see someone in the New Orleans offense other than Alvin Kamara putting up some points for that team. Nonetheless, Ryan's impressive team definitely enjoyed Amon-Ra coming back from an injury. Put up 30 points for him. Breece Hall put up 20 points. Not only did he help Ryan's impressive team, but also helped the Jets give Philly the first loss of the year. So it was nice to see that. Nico Collins, Hawkinson, both in double digits. Impressive win for Ryan's impressive team. He moves up to 4-2, 4th place in our league. Jimmy Jesus, he goes down to 2-4, 10th place in our league. Again, it's nice to see Ryan's impressive team come back, especially after having back-to-back low scores of the week. Congratulations, brother. Good luck moving forward. So the next matchup we'll be looking at is House of Troy versus Stop Playing. Heartbreaker, close matchup right there. House of Troy ended with 111.02. Stop Playing with 112.92. This is a matchup that was decided Monday Night Football. Being down about 23 points. They only needed 23.5 from Keenan Allen to make that comeback. Keenan Allen scored 21.5, a couple points short from taking that victory from Stop Playing. Unfortunately, Herbert threw that touchdown on the last drive on Monday Night Football, and that was it for it. Great performance from the running backs. Pacheco and Kamara both over 15 points. Mark Andrews back on the board. He had that London game, put a couple double digits points. Even Madison had some points. But here comes the kicker. Literally, I've been talking about it all year. This league, we penalize kickers for missing. Bass had 2 50-plus yarders missed on their matchups against the Giants. A matchup they almost lost, too, if it wasn't for a couple of the blunders that the Giants have. Nonetheless, it would have made a difference on this matchup had he at least hit one of those 2 field goals. Stop Playing had a really good performance by A.J. Brown, even though the Eagles took a loss. A.J. Brown got some decent points. Tyreek Hill is still blowing up. Again, I think he's my favorite for MVP this year. Unfortunately, he did take a couple of losses in regards to players dealing with some injuries, with Justin Fields going out. Montgomery going to be missing some time. Both players only score about 4 points for him. So it's going to be interesting to see how moving forward he's going to replace those players. I know Montgomery was getting hot, the last couple weeks, but we'll see what Stop Playing does moving forward. Either way, great victory for Stop Playing. That's going to move his record up to second place with a 4-2 record. House of Troy moves to 4-2, but down to 3rd place. Again, congratulations on that victory. Tight race right there in that 1, 2, 3 spot. We'll be looking at our next matchup forward. All right, so the last matchup we'll be looking at this week, it comes from the Bolt Up family, Smashing versus Salty Sar, a matchup that ended 114.76 to 140.18. Smashing had a great performance from his running backs this week. Etienne is such a workhorse, put up 23 points, monstered 34 points, and now the A-Chain is hurt. I mean, he's the lone back getting all those carries. It's nice to see him go off again. Saquon Barkley is back from injury, did a decent performance against the Buffalo Bills defense, putting up 13 points. Had that one carry at the 1 yard line that didn't go in prior to the half. That would have helped them probably get him into the 20-point margin. Either way, wasn't enough to hang on. Had an unfortunate performance by Devontae Adams, who has been critical of his offense. And then Elliott, again, another kicker that missed the field goal that made him stay at 0 points this week. On the other side, Salty had a great lineup. Tua went off, Olave went off, Waddle went off, Walker went off, Eckler went off, Myers went off, Butker went off. I mean, he was just putting up 17-point performances from all his players. So what's there really to say? Either way, a great lineup. Doesn't seem like he left a lot of points on the bench other than his quarterback by like 2 points. But great lineup, Salty. Congratulations. You take the high score of the week this week. You actually move up to 3-3, to 7th place. Smashing takes that loss to put them into 2-4, 9th place. Again, gentlemen, this is a very competitive league, a lot of close teams. So you guys can see I'm putting that right now on the board. We're very close to a playoff run between, I think, between 10 teams. Even Jimmy just still has a chance. The way things go, guys, again, points scored is going to be the tiebreaker. So set up the best lineup possible. Don't forget, kickers do get penalized for missed field goals. Look at the injury reports. Stay on the waiver wire. That's very critical right now with bye weeks coming up, with injuries coming up. I mean, let's just look at the situation in LA with the Rams. They got four running backs. We don't know who's going to be the one getting the ball. So good luck moving forward, gentlemen. Again, apologies for getting this video to you guys so late. I'll try to get the next one to you guys over on time. Again, good luck, and I'll see you guys next week.